Shalom. Giving all praise and honor and glory going to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to all you occupants out there pushing this truth with all honesty and sincerity by way of the highways and byways, going on the streets teaching and preaching, and also by way of the internet. Shalom to you very few Akwaf that's out there listening and learning, to you very few sisters that's out there listening and learning. Going back to the names, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father name, all right, which means He is or He exists. Bahashem, which means coming in the name, and what the world ignorantly calls JC or Jesus Christ. His name is not Jesus Christ. It's not Jesus Christos. It's not Yeshua. It's not Yeshaya. It's not Ashaya. It's not Yehoshua. All right. It's not Jesus Christos. It's not none of that. His name is Yahweh Shai. Okay. You so-called Negroes, Latinos. Oh, Salakia. His name is Yahweh Shai. All right, which means He saves or He delivers. All right, so He is the Savior or He is the deliverer. Salakia. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. This is Brother Nayap, and I'm back with another lesson. I'm bad, y'all. I was doing a couple things. My brain everywhere. So yeah, this lesson gonna be entitled, I guess the only power, or there is only one power. All right, but it's Yahweh. All right, that's the only power. All right, there's no power but of Yahweh. All right, so everything that happens and things like that. All right, especially the times that we in. All right, it's of Yahweh. All right, now this lesson, I know I usually be like, yeah, I'm gonna be quick, but I'm gonna try to be pretty fast with this lesson. Try to make it like 20-30 minutes. So we just gonna go ahead and just get into it. All right. So my first scripture I want to get is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 1. It says, surely vain and all men by nature who are ignorant of the Most High, and could not out of the good things that are seen know him that is, neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster. All right. I want to see what this says in the GNT as well. Let me see. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 1. In the GNT, it says, anyone who does not know the Most High is simply foolish. All right. It says, such people look at the good things around them and still fail to see the living power. All right. Like, you got all these people that go around and be like, you got atheists, you got people who just think that evolution and Big Bang Theory and all that bullshit, just evolution type people. All right, or you got people who question the Most High. All right, or even people who say they are the Most High. You got a lot of bug outs out here. All right, let me grab this. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9. Verse 22, it says, let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept, and my plant. It says, for with great labor have I made it perfect. All right. And that's talking about the elect. All right. Let the multitude perish. All right. The rest of these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because they're going to have to. All right. Zechariah 13:8, it says, "And it shall come to pass that all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, two parts therein shall be cut off and die, and two parts shall be left therein." All right, so there's a portion of our people that has to go. Okay. Matter of fact, let me go back to this. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, and verse 2. It says, "But deem either fire or wind, or the swift air, or the circle of the stars, or the violent water, or the lights of heaven to be the gods which govern the world." All right, and that's what our people do. You know, when you go to, let me see if I got one. See, Native American moon worship varies across tribes, but commonly involves ceremonies, rituals, and reverence for the moon cycles. All right. So you had the northern tribe. All right. Which let me do this. All right. This right here. All right. So you had, when you scroll down, because Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the first three is the southern tribe. All right. And then you got Ephraim from Puerto Ricans. See what I'm saying? But Gad, Native American Indians, and probably Reuben in there as well, the Seminole Indians, and maybe a little bit of Issachar, but mainly Gad and Reuben was doing these things. Commonly involved ceremonies, rituals, and reverence for the moon cycles. All right. Some cultures like the Lakota, Sioux, I think it's Sioux. Pardon me if I'm, saying that incorrectly. Honor the moon with dances and prayers during ceremonies like the pink moon to connect with the cycles of life and nature. All right, that has nothing to. Our people was going off. All right, let's read that in the GNT, Wisdom of Solomon 13:1 again. As a matter of fact, let me read in the KJV. It says, "Surely vain are all men by nature who are ignorant of the Most High," who don't know the Most High. All right, who don't, it says, "and could not out of the good things that are seen known him that is." It says, "Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster, but deemed either fire or wind, or the swift air, or the circle of the stars, or the violent water, or the lights of the heaven to be the gods which govern the world." Okay, so our people was going off. You see why our people be dying so much. All right, verse 3, it says, "With whose beauty, if they being delighted to them to be good, to be gods, let them know how much better the Lord of them is. For the first author of beauty have created them. But if they were astonished at their power and virtue, let them understand by them," it says, "how much mightier he is that made them." Right. So you over there worshiping, let's go back. You over there worshiping the moon, the stars, this right here. And I always did love the Gadites, they garments and stuff. But you got images like this, or you got images like this, all right? When they worship these things, the birds, the animals, the stars, the lights, Right? What time of day it is, the animal that you have to sacrifice on that type of moon, and but it's not nothing that's going with the scriptures. All right, our people, like what I said, our people be going off. All right, our people, man, we got some beautiful people, man. I can't wait until Yahweh Shah come back. Anyway. All right, so let's go. It says, with whose beauty, if they being delighted to them to be gods, all right, let them know how much better the Lord Yahweh Shah of them is, all right, for the first author of beauty have created them. But if they were astonished at their power and virtue, let them understand by them how much mightier he is that made them, for by greatness and beauty of the creatures, proportionably the maker of them is seen, but yet for this they are the less to be blamed, for they peradventure err, seeking the Most High, and desires to find Him, for being conversant in His words. All right, it says for being conversant. Let's see what conversant. Gotta look up your words. Converse. All right, conversing, like conversation, conver. Oh my God, I just spelled that way wrong. Hold on, Salakia. Conversant, my bad. Conversant. Conversant. I forgot the end. It says having knowledge or experience. All right. Having knowledge or experience. So when going back in verse 7, it says, for being conversant, having knowledge or experience in his works, they search him diligently and believe their sight. Right. It says, because the things are beautiful that are seen, howbeit neither are they to be pardoned. For if they were able to know so much that they could aim at the world, how did they not sooner find out the Lord thereof? But miserable are they in dead things in their hope, who call them gods, which are the works of men's hands, gold and silver, to shoot art. All right, like let's go to one that everybody pretty much know. All right, look at the idols. All right, you see the idols already. Right. Let me see. Look, they make it all gold and stuff like that. See this? Let me see. Them just candles and stuff. Let me just type in. Trying to find a picture where they be having like all them statues and stuff like this. This one right here. All right, they got that big ass idol in the back. You see how they painted all the so-called apostles, whatever. They made them white, made them look like Edomites with weird ass looking beards, bro. They even made Yahushua Edomite. But these is they idols and stuff. All right, maybe they made Mary white. They get all these melt all these graven images and have all these images and just things, and people come and pray to them and stuff like that. All right, it's the same way, just like the stars and the moons. It's just that now they praying to something that was made by hands. Okay, so let's go back. I want to read this in the GNT. Wisdom of Solomon 13:2. It says, instead they suppose that the gods who rule the world are fire or wind or storm or the circle stars or rushing water or the heavenly bodies. People were so delighted with the beauty of these things that they thought they must be gods, but they should have realized that these things have a master and that he is much greater than all of them, for he is the creator of beauty and he created them. Since people are amazed at the power of these things and how they behave, they ought to learn from them that their maker is far more powerful. When we realize how vast and beautiful the creation is, we are learning about the creator at the same time. But maybe we are too harsh with these people. After all, they may have really wanted to find the Most High, but couldn't. Surrounded by the Most High's works, they keep on looking at them. All right, it says, until they are finally convinced that because of the things they see are so beautiful, they must be gods. All right, so all the beautiful things that the Lord created, these other, you got our people worshiping it like it is a god. All right, like he's within it. Like, I don't know why people be having cremations and stuff like that. Like, I could swear. Wait, never mind. I ain't keep my mouth shut. Don't keep my mouth shut. You know. But anyway, it says because they keep the ashes and stuff. They keep it in there like the body is still in there. Like, they going in the spiritual realm, yo. Like, why you got? But still, verse 8 in the GNT, it says, but still, Wisdom of Solomon 13:8 GNT, it says, but still, these people really have no excuse. If they had enough intelligence to speculate about the nature of the universe, why did they never find the Lord of all things? The foolishness of idolatry. See, because when you walking around with, hold on, let me get it. Like when you walking around with this, all right, rosemary beads, or you walking around with this as a necklace. All right, you're not supposed to walk around with things like that. All right. People, people go as far to get, people be having tattoos and stuff like that. Anyway, verse 10, Wisdom of Solomon 13:10 in GNT, it says the foolish subheading says the foolishness of idolatry. It says, but the most miserable people of all are those who rest their hopes on lifeless things. All right, you spend your whole life, all right, trying to do this, trying to accomplish this and that and this and that. It's not gonna get you closer to the Lord, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You can pray to something. You know what I'm saying? All you want. If you're not praying to Yahweh, by Shemi Yahushua, man, hey, I don't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna make it. Right? It says, but the most miserable people of all are those who rest their hopes on lifeless things, who worship things that have been made by human hands, images of animals artistically made from the gold and silver, or some useless stone carved by someone years ago. Right? Like, maybe having the statues and shit like that of the Caesars and all that bullshit. It says a skilled woodworker may saw down some suitable tree, carefully strip off the bark, and then, with skillful craftsmanship, make from it an object that will serve some useful purpose. He will take the leftover pieces and use them as firewood to cook a meal that he can sit down and enjoy. But among that scrap wood, he may take one piece that isn't good for anything. Maybe it's crooked and full of knots, and carefully carved it in leisure time, using spare moments to shape it into the cruel image of a person. Or maybe some of the worthless animal he paints it all over with red, covering up every flaw in the work. All right, it says then he prepares food. So it's just going in like, so you can use, all right, you can use that wood to carve out a cross and worship it like a dumbass, or you can use that wood for fire, right? Or to build a house, or to build a chair, or to build a table, right? To build a spoon. I don't fucking know. Something useful, not to worship it. All right, so let's continue on. I thought this lesson was gonna be kind of quick, but hey, let's continue. It says, this is Romans chapter 13, verse 1. It says, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but the Most High, but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High. All right, let me see what that says in the NLT. In the NLT, it says, everyone must submit to governing authorities, for all authority comes from the Most High, and those in position of authorities have been placed there by the Most High. All right. This is Psalms 96 and 5. It says, for all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord Yahweh made the heavens. All right. Because all these other nations believe in false gods because they obviously have no God. All right. Psalms 37 and 35, it says, I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. All right. Trying to just move a little bit faster for y'all. This is Job 21 and 7. It says, wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, are mighty in power, their seed established in the sight of with them, and their offspring before their eyes. All right. Yeah, because these elites and stuff like that, man, they make sure their offspring is cool and shit like that. All right, they set up a lot of things in the dark for their offspring can, they think that their houses shall continue forever. Job 14 and 4 says, who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. All right, talk about Esau Edom. All right, because soon he's about to come down. All right, so there's, everything that he's doing, and like they got in the UK right now. That I'll show y'all a video right quick. I ain't gonna lie. This Micah 2 and 1 says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. All right. Right. It's in the power of their hand. Why? Let me grab this. It's Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right. All right. They rule the world. So, snap. Psalms 49 and 11, it says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands, all right, after their own names. All right, a lot of these places is named just like you got Africa. All right, by a dude named Leo Scipio Africanus, I believe. Leo. That's his name. I think it's Skip. I think it was Scipio. Yep, Scipio. Leo Scipio Africanus. All right. He the one who named Africa. All right. All right. See, defeated General Hannibal at the Battle of Zama in 202 BCE. All right. He said earned the name Africanus, all right, for his victory in Africa, all right, which was the land of Ham, or the land, land of Canaan, all right. Anyway, just like a quick little history thing. Getting back to the scriptures, though. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to get. Did I get? I think I did. Yeah, I got that. So this is Micah 2:10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction." Right? You got to get up out of this place, man. Going back up to verse 1, though, it says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds when the morning is light, that practice it, because it is in the power of their hand." All right, so let's go back. Let me go to matter of fact, let me get, because I'm done with that. Let me get this verse 2. This is Micah 2:2. It says, "And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, and even a man in his heritage." All right, and that's what they doing. Right now they picking up a lot of our people left and right in Portland, Oregon, and Chicago. Okay. This is Psalms 147:5. It says, "Great is the Lord." It says, "And of great power. His understanding is infinite." All right, it says, "The Lord Yahweh lifted up the meek. He casteth the wicked down to the ground." All right, so the Lord gonna take this devil up out of power soon. All right. This is Isaiah 47:1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans." It says, "For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." All right, this place is already being called that. All right, America. All right, that's what that's talking about. Okay, this place is already through. This first Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 29, it says, "And after 2 years, for fully expired, the king sent his thief collector of tribute into the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people in Israel." And that's what he does. It's all right. These motherfuckers, they speak all these. Well, now they don't. All right, but they definitely did it to the Gadites. Right, when they came over here to the Americas. Okay. He definitely did it then. He still do it. Every chance he get to these other nations and everything. Just come over, all right, say some smooth things. All right, say, but evil was in his heart. All right. Let me get, let me get verse 2. It says, "Take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, and make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. All right, because what you have is everybody realizing, all right, that America ain't shit because it's in full support of the blue and white, and has been, and our people is basically dying, all right, and not able to have a good economy because we're getting sucked dry from them motherfuckers. All right, so a lot of our people are starting to wake up to that stage, but they need to wake up to who the fuck they are. All right, this is Second Esdras. 6:28. It says, "As for faith, it shall flourish; corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared." All right, especially in these last days. All right, let me go to Isaiah 47:3. It says, "Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man." It says, as for our Redeemer, the Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. All right, it says, "Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms." All right, "I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst shew them no mercy." All right, these devils showed us no mercy. "Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke." Okay, and that's exactly what happens to our people, man. You know, they saying that our people can't even retire until dead. You know, they already done cut. They terminated all the special education employees. All right, a lot of women not getting they WIC benefits because the government shut down. Romans 11:1, "I say then, have the Most High cast away his people? The Most High forbid." But hey, you're not supposed to be dependent on this devil for anything anyway. So that's y'all women's fault. For I also am an Israelite, all right, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. All right. Let me get this right quick. I was trying to make this a quick 30 minutes, but I guess I went over. This is Psalms 82:3. "Defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy." That's what you're supposed to do. All right, our people don't do that. It says, "Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked." All right. And we want to escape the hand of the wicked. All right, we don't want no parts of that. But our people had to go through that. All right. This is Amos 3:1. "Hear this word that the Lord Yahweh have spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities." All right. This is Lamentations 4:21. "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished. O daughter of Zion, he will no more carry thee away into captivity." It says, "He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins." All right, so, hey, man, you're going to have to pay. You got to pay. Let's see what it says in the NLT. It says, Lamentation 4:21 in the NLT, it says, "Are you rejoicing in the land of Uz, O people of Edom? But you too must drink from the cup of the Lord's anger, of Yahweh's anger. You too will be stripped naked in your drunkenness, O beautiful Jerusalem. Your punishment will end. You will soon return from exile, but Edom, your punishment is just beginning. Soon your many sins will be exposed." All right, so this Yahweh Shem Yahushua not going to let this devil get away. In the NIV, it says, "Rejoice and be glad, daughter of Edom, who live in the land of Uz. But to you also the cup will be passed. You will drink and strip naked. Your punishment will end, daughter of Zion. He will not prolong your exile, but he will punish your sin. All right. It says, daughter of Edom. It says, and expose your wickedness. All right. So let me go ahead and move on. It's Isaiah 47:7. It says, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things of thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. It says, therefore, hear now this, thou art given to pleasures that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I want to read this in the NLT. Isaiah 47:7 in the NLT, it says, you said, I will reign forever as queen of the world. Did not reflect on your actions or think about their consequences. It says, listen to this, your pleasure loving kingdom, living at ease and feeling secure. You say, I am the only one. It says, and there is no other. I will never be a widow or lose my children. That's how these devils think. All right. It says, well, both these things will come upon you in a moment. Widowhood and the loss of your children. Yes, these calamities will come upon you despite all your witchcraft and magic, because they do a lot of that. All right, all them children to be missing. All right, it says you felt secure in your nakedness. Plus, they trying to get rid of a lot of jakes anyway. It says you felt secure in your wickedness. No one sees me, you said, but your wisdom and knowledge have led you astray. And you said, I am the only one, and there is no other. So disaster will overtake you, and you won't be able to charm it away. Calamity will fall upon you, and you won't be able to buy your way out. A catastrophe, will strike you suddenly. Let's see what a catastrophe is. What is a catastrophe? A moment, tragic event ranging from extreme misfortunate to utter overthrow or ruin, utter failure. Damn. It's a wrap for Esau. Scroll down though. It says a catastrophe will strike you suddenly, one for which you are not prepared. Now use your magical charms. Use the spells you have worked at all these years. Maybe they will do you some good. Maybe they can make someone afraid of you. Man, the Lord, he taunting them. This is all the advice you receive has made you tired. Where are all your astrologers, those stargazers who make predictions? All right, like Elon Musk and all these motherfuckers who make predictions each month. Let them stand up and save you from what the future holds. Damn. I never read this in the NLT. It says, but they are like the straw burning in fire. They cannot save themselves from the flame. You will get no help from them at all. Their hearth, all right, is no place to sit for warmth. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Let me get a couple more precepts. Yeah, I'm about to look at why the hell was this dude on this damn show. Who the fuck this dude Zaryak was on this damn show for? This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 13, verse 10, because I don't know what the fuck going on with him, man. It's always some bullshit going on. Wisdom of Solomon 13:10. But miserable are they, and in dead things in their hope, who call them gods, which are the works of men's hands, gold and silver, to shew art in the all in and resemblance of beasts, or a stone, good for nothing, the work of an ancient hand. It says, now a carpenter that, all right, so yeah, we did that. So let me go down a little bit. Go to verse 13. It says, and taking the very refuse among those which serve to no use, being a crooked piece of wood and a full of knots, have carved it diligently when he had nothing else to do, and formed it by the skill of the understanding, and fashioned it to the image of a man, or made it like some vile beast, laying it over the vermilion, and with paint coloring it red, and covering every spot therein. It says, and when he had made a convenient room for it, set it in a wall, and made it fast with iron, for he provided for it that it might not fall, knowing that it was able to help itself, for it is an image, and have no need for it. It says have a need of help. I don't need no help, basically. Then maketh he prayer for his goods, for his wife and children, and his so he's praying to this idol, and is not ashamed to speak that to that which is have no life. It says, for health he calleth upon that which is weak. That's terrible. You going to an idol for, and you like you got all these these so-called Palestinians or whatever, and they going, and they in which they in the Israelites' land. All right, they in the Lord's land. All right, it was given it's for the Israelites. All right, that land is ours. But you know, you got heathens in that land right now. They like, oh yeah, we better go back home and go ahead and we don't care if we're on the rubble or anything like that. Long, you know, basically as long as if they can just have a rug, you know what I'm saying, and a bucket to shit in, with one fucking wall that's up, maybe a half a wall that's up, you know what I'm saying, and then still pull out an idol and pray to it, calling on whoever, talking about Allah. That ain't his name, stupid motherfucker. It says, then maketh he prayer for his goods, for his wife and his children, and is not ashamed to speak to that which have no life. That's why the Lord gonna destroy that place. For health he calleth up upon that which is weak, for life prayeth to that which is dead, for aid humbly beseecheth that which have least means to help, and for a good journey he asketh of that which cannot set a foot forward. All right, so you get the point. All right, and that's what's happening. All right, with our people. Our people like depending on idols and stuff. All right, this is Baruch chapter 3 and verse 16. It says, where are the princes of the heathen become, and such as rule the beasts upon the earth? It says, they that have their pastime with the fowls of the air, and they that hoarded up the silver and gold, wherein men trust, and made no end of their getting. For they that wrought in silver, and were so careful, and whose works are unsearchable, they are vanished and gone down to the grave, and others are come up to in their steads. All right, so there you go, right there. All right, it says young men have seen light and dwelt upon the earth, but the way of the knowledge have they not known. It says, nor understood the paths thereof, nor laid hold of it. Their children were far off from the way. All right, so hey, just like our people today. It says Baruch 3 and 15. It says, who have found out her place, who have come into her treasures. All right, who are in this truth. Verse 14, it says, learn where is wisdom, where is strength, where is understanding, that thou mayest know also where is the length of days and life, where is the light of the eyes and peace. Okay. Going down to verse 35, it says, this is our power and there shall none other be accounted of in comparison of him. He had found out all the way of knowledge, and have given it unto Jacob his servant, and Israel his beloved. All right, so the elect got this, man. All right, because not all our people know about Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, like I said, like I was, I think I had told the brother, the elder from GMS South Carolina. I told him, I was like, great lesson, you know, all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Shem Krakodas Barakatah. Dude was like, what? Like I had spelled it out. And dude said, what? And I just said, like, if you know, you know. Showing you that our people don't know shit. All right, let me get this last scripture. This is Colossians 1:15. It says, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. All right. So with that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory going to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Krakwadash. Until next time, Shalom.